is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Come on, we got a weight room over here. We got a golf sim up there. Why would you believe it? You were at the head of the table, Mr. Rue. Where are you from originally, Jersey?
Pennsylvania, New York. I lived in New York and Pennsylvania both. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is the head coach of the football team at Nebraska. Ladies.
Welcome to the very first ever Husker Alert video and what will be our first Husker Hangout. I know a couple of minutes ago the Chasing 3 episode dropped, so I thought to start things off, since this is basically just a test to see what our capabilities are exactly here. So I figured I would watch through that, give some live commentary and feedback as I watch it. And then, if anyone's even hanging out, we can get into some questions, some key points that I think are going to be important for the season. So, with that, let's get into it. Fantastic. Come on. So many ads. Okay. Here we go.
In the world of football, a successful practice doesn't just happen. It's a symphony of precision.
The voiceover guy that they brought back,
behind the team.
fantastic.
So first thing we're gonna do during the day is just kind of go over the practice script when we go in, kind of make sure the kids are going to be ready to go when they come in. From there, then we'll send the kids down to set up practice, getting all the position groups ready to go in their little different areas, depending on if they're inside or outside for the day. The new added thing this year is the C2P stuff. One of us is always kind of monitoring on each field, make sure the coaches and the quarterbacks can hear each other as well as the defense.
Do you want one other than that? I think everybody that's going to go red and black.
We have 20 students. Each of them kind of is on their own little category, whether it's, working with coaches on drills. Every position group has one, so there's a lot of moving parts during practice. Myself and Jay have to be on each field, kind of coordinate each field for whether it's the reffing or whatnot, just to make sure we're not missing anything and we're not causing any delays in practice.
The equipment staff prepare and work efficiently to ensure every practice runs like clockwork.
Over here, 3!
It's the funnest job I've ever had in my entire life, and it's probably, hopefully, the last job I ever have. I wouldn't want to do anything else. I mean, the team building kind of stuff and being a part of something bigger than yourself, it's always something I've enjoyed.
For them, it's about efficiency. For the players, it's about focus.
12! 12! 12! 12!
You got that word?
It was 12.
Yeah, I'm off.
Your would. I'm sure you know.
We always trying to start a chant.
It ain't a chant. It's a standard.
12 personnel on the field. It's a formation that's music to Luke Lindenmeyer's ears. And for a young quarterback, there's nothing better than a tight end with sure hands.
You notice all the new music
My
they listen
story
to
for,
at
like,
practice.
football. In high school, I didn't really take it seriously
We need to
until my junior
revamp
year, where
what
I was
we're
like,
putting
yeah,
out
I'm
on
not
game
going to
day.
play basketball in college. But the COVID year kind of messed up my recruiting because I got into it so late, and I knew I could play at a pretty high level thanks to working with my trainer and my mentor Yano. He just recently passed, so this season means a lot more to me now. He's the reason
wow.
I kept playing football and never gave up.
The walk-on
that's
tight end
beautiful.
from La Vista, Nebraska, now entering his 3rd year, knows every snap is an opportunity to prove his worth.
So I decided to walk on here, and I think I came here at the perfect time.
Luke came in about 2 years ago. We both kind of connected on the fact that we were
That
walk-ons.
looks funny running.
We both came a long way from where we started.
When Rule got here, I had no idea how he was going to treat walk-ons. At first, I didn't want him to see me as a walk-on. Even though I'm a walk-on, I never felt like a walk-on because on the field, I'm just another helmet with shoulder pads.
And it just proves the fact that it doesn't matter how many stars you have when you come in. It's what you do on the field, and this staff, we're lucky enough here that everyone gets a chance.
A lot of well-spoken players on this team.
They gave me the opportunity to play in all 12 games last year, even start 5, and seeing that, man, I can actually do this. I belong here.
Oh yeah.
After
Those
one
helmet
day, I
pads
remembered,
make everyone
Coach Campbell and
look
Rule
like
talked
a
to me,
middle
"Do you think you
schooler."
could play in the NFL?" And I was like, NFL? I didn't even know if I could play here when I first came here. And I was like, Coach, do you think I can? And he was like, and I was like, shoot, let's do this thing, man.
Luke is versatile, but right now he's a very good blocker, and we like to have him in those big, heavy sets. He's really good with his hand in the dirt and moving people off.
Look
the
how
line.
small they look with those helmet pads on.
Last year, it was Nate Borkacher who made the leap from walk-on to scholarship. and inspiration to every player who dreams of making their mark.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are and what you look like and how many stars you had when you came out of high school. We run 4 fields at once. I mean, everyone's going, and so it all depends on how well you play when you get here.
I feel like it was an inspiration, kind of gave me hope that, like, dang, this staff actually appreciates its walk-ons and wants to play its best players, and they're going to give us all a shot. It's kind of like this thing. I've been reading a lot. I've been reading David Goggins. There was an experiment where they put all these rats in like a cylinder full of water. They used like 80 rats in this first group, and then eventually they all sank to the bottom and died. But for the second group, they started swimming up there for 60 to 80 hours straight. No food, no water, no nothing. And I feel like that's kind of like the same thing. Like, all these walk-ons, maybe getting some playing time, not really, maybe overshadowed. But the new staff comes in, give them scholarships, they're playing, and then it's like, dang, we got some hope now. We have like a little confidence in us. Now we're going to keep swimming up, you know?
Just like rats and walk-ons, cream always rises to the top. Head coach Matt Rule is always searching for the best of the best.
You got 3, you got 3. As always, you compete for everything. Offense, you pick any member of the support staff to knock this ball through those uprights. Defense, you can pick anyone. This is a team. The offense shows Marcus Satterfield.
What?
Logan Matt Hobbs. You got to put a little pressure on the man. Let's go. No. Ain't no do-overs. This is for rep 2. This is the problem, guys. Get something that coaches don't get it done. Give me the ball. All right, Brian, come on. Come on, Brian. All you guys together. Oh, yeah.
If I miss it, you guys don't have
Doing
to run.
NASCAR. Rick Hamilton. That's interesting. Oh, this must be what Coach said he was excited for them to show. This better make the internet. Oh, that's a way better swing. Don't ever come at me again, he says.
Come at me again. Everybody at once. Hey, 1 rep, run it like you want to win. 1 rep.
Looks like a fun camp. I mean, obviously not fun. Gotta go through the grind and whatnot, but...
Some people you talk trash to and they get full. Some people you talk trash.
Everybody up! Ready! Release! Stretch and recover! Stretch and recover! Stretch and recover!
You know, there was a time where when someone talked trash to you, you just responded with your play. So the guys, you know, they want to get in my face, they want to talk, they don't understand. For a guy like me, that locks me in. So I'm not much of a golfer. Probably wouldn't make that shot 9 out of 10 times. But when you talk to me, I'm making it. The rules, 2-0. Brian and Matt, 2-0. Is here, guys.
What is this? Oh, he's gonna sing. Look at him.
And I used to think that I wasn't fine enough. And I used to think that I wasn't wild enough. I won't waste my time trying to figure out why you playing games, what's this all about? And I can't believe you're hurting me. I'm mad that girl wasn't different. What you see, you ain't seen in me. I'm bad.
Oh, this is amazing.
Just make believe. Oh, love. Never knew what I was missing, but I knew once we start kissing, I found love. Never knew what I was missing, but I knew once we start kissing, I found.
That's the first one this year. Already the best one this year, and better than everybody last year. No, I'm talking about singing. First thing was fire. I'm talking about the singing. All right, guys, we have a quick meeting here today, guys. Just a couple things. So I saw this. A lot of you guys probably saw this on Instagram. Okay, my good buddy Trace is here, who represents the offensive coordinator there. But again, this guy that's been through adversity in his life, right? He's a competitor. He's a lion. I've seen it firsthand. And this is an exchange that Jalen Hurts, had with Saquon Barkley. I'll remind you, this is supposed to be hard. This is supposed to be hard, but we still have to play fearlessly and fast and with confidence.
Great message.
Yes, sir. Hey, you think you can? Fearless? Yeah. Absolutely. You got some shit you're gonna worry about, but you have to check yourself. Yeah. You're either gonna pray or you're gonna worry. You can't do both. God got it. God know our word too. Shouldn't be the fear. When you already put the work in, I come ready.
So if you're in this room, you're a good player. You just might not be as experienced. You might not be putting as much work in. You might need a little bit more time. So trust yourself to embrace the adversity. Make sure you guys are freaking attacking these weeks. We on the same page?
This is the exact message that this team, this program has been needing for the last 2 decades.
I have a friend of mine here to talk today, so I really appreciate if you guys would listen. Trace Armstrong, one of my best friends, in addition to also representing me, but really I've had a chance a couple times to talk pass rush with him. He's one of the best that I know in terms of coaching it, and teaching the actual mechanics in terms of his thought process. So he can talk about however he wants to talk about defensive line play with you guys. But for those of you guys who don't know, Trace had a long career for the Chicago Bears, the Miami Dolphins, Raiders, played in the Super Bowl. He was a
getting the
pick in the
goosebumps.
first round, played at both Arizona State and the University of Florida, was an All-American coming out of there, first round pick, All-Pro, top 100 Chicago Bears of all time. It's really interesting stats. I'll leave it to him. He holds the record for most sacks, I think, in the fourth quarter. So I've heard him talk before. It's always been really, really impressive to me, just the thought process. And you got a lot of great run stoppers in here. It's physical dudes. And your career will go based upon, honestly, your ability to rush the pass. And so I want to give you all the resources I can. So I'd get comfortable. I'd find a place where you can write things down, ask questions. You guys are welcome up. Trace Armstrong, please.
Thanks, Matt. I don't have to tell you how fortunate you guys are. My current world, I work with I represent a bunch of college coaches and NFL head coaches, and I'm here. Really, I'm such a fan. So I really have sat in those chairs. I know what it feels like. I know what camp feels like. I've been there. Spent most of my life there, and the best days of my life right there. I got into the league, had a good career in college, got in the league. I dislocated my ankle my rookie year, kind of derailed the early part of my career. I got to a point where I'd had a bunch of bad surgeries, but I could just see my body is going this way.
Man.
So what I really started to think about, pass rush was always important. I was a good pass rusher, not a great pass rusher. I was a very good pass rusher for a long time. Can I really break this down to individual pieces, and how can I master it? If you look at all the great rushers, they got commonalities. The first thing is stance. Does anybody know why we get into a stance?
This guy's gonna give me the goosebumps.
Exactly. We're taking our body, we're compressing it, so boom! The snap of the ball, we can explode. So that move, that first step, it's got to be violent. Every great rusher has a dominant move. So if you have a dominant move, if they're taking something away,
this is what our team's been needing to hear
so you got to
for
develop
so
your
long.
dominant move, and then you're going to have a counter that comes off of that move.
Yeah.
Now you work what?
Inside.
Your counter.
Okay.
Work your counter.
About one
There you
out
go,
of every
teammate.
5 to 6 rushes, you've got to take that inside move just to make them uncomfortable, just to let them know you got it. Here's the thing about like getting to the corner, getting to an edge as a tackle. A lot of people say, oh gosh, tackle's there. Well, of course he's there. You have to take it. Rushing the passer is violent. You know,
Yes.
you look at most dominant rushers, you take the edge.
Yeah.
You have to take it. They're not going to give it to you. Games are always good because that's your third thing. You got to be good at games. It's just too easy.
One rep at a time. Let's go.
This guy's
Dominate
nice with
player.
it.
One play at a time. You can have one bad play. You can have 4.
I got you.
Dominate each play. Down in, down out. Focus on the play.
Oh boy. Oh, you gotta catch that, dude.
So dominant move, counter games. You do that, you're a complete rusher. You'll play on Sunday if you have a dominant move, a counter, and you're good at games. And you'll get a lot of sacks.
Set the edge, you knock it back, the blitzer hits him in the backfield. It's going to be a tag in the ass, right, Phil?
So I started thinking about pass rush, and then I really started thinking about, at that time, you know, most games came down to a single possession. And I thought, well, I'm going to master the 2-minute drill. I really changed the way I conditioned, it changed the way I practiced. I knew that if I could get into a great stance and get great takeoff, be relentless, when I was dead ass tired, I could win at the most important times. 2-minute situations, those red zone situations. Everybody wants to be Superman. You get to be Superman in those situations because you condition your mind and your body, right, to thrive when other people are suffering. I can't wait to watch you practice tomorrow night.
What a
I'm
great
gonna be here.
message.
I'm a big fan, and I'm available. So if you guys want to grab me and talk to me about anything, I'd love to do it. If you want to jump in and watch some tape, I'd love to do that too.
Wow.
So I'll be here till.
I tell you what, the
whatever,
resources
Thursday
these guys have.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy it.
I mean, it's really unmatched.
For Death Row, dominating the pass rush is what it'll take to win the battle in the trenches. For redshirt freshman Brody Tagaloa, his battle is
Here we
different.
go.
It's quieter, more personal.
You just got to fight for it every time, right?
Sir.
Even on the little stuff.
In the summer of 2023, Brody Tagaloa's career was cut short. A devastating car accident left him with injuries that stole away his season and sidelined him indefinitely. Now, a year later, the defensive lineman is close to finding his way back on the field.
So Brody,
I forgot about that.
Especially these past couple of weeks. He's taken huge strides in his conditioning and his strength. Like, I think he's starting to surprise himself a little bit as far as his strength capacity is concerned. We've started to integrate more and more D-line stuff as he nears his return. That kind of rapid-fire conditioning, that like what we consider multi-play drive conditioning, that was the big target for today, is get him doing something that's a little bit more like that, where his work-to-rest ratio is a little bit different. He's got to push against an object that doesn't really want to move.
Ooh, 80, said, hut, hut. Hut.
Man, that stuff sucks right there.
While the team has
Push
been
and sled,
conditioning for
baby.
the last 4 months, Brody has not had the opportunity to join them. He'll have to catch up on his own.
You want the good news or the bad news?
Bad.
Bad news. We still have half gases. You want the good news? That was really good. Continuing to put volume on his legs. The more that we can do that, the better able he's going to be to tolerate practice and tolerate the things we're going to ask him to do down the road.
While Brody fights his own battles,
That
it's back to the
stuff is
dorms for the rest of the 120. With only 3 days left in the Selleck dorm hall, the team cherishes every moment, knowing that the bond they build off the field is just as important as the work they do on it.
Dorm life is honestly great. Yeah. You know, when you really lay down at night, really embrace the wooden plank that you're sleeping on, get up in the morning, body's feeling.
I slept in those dorms, boys.
You know, it's gonna keep. Honestly, no
Tough.
one really cares how you're feeling.
Yeah.
I bet your opponent week one don't care how we're feeling.
Dang right. Dang right. A little louder for the people in the back, my man. Here we go. This is what we've been missing. We haven't seen much of behind the scenes.
Who you beat earlier, Jamal? No, you lost earlier? You lost to Willis?
Hey, Jamal. The defending team has a 92% chance to score before the team got the ball.
Yeah.
-10.
You got a great week off from the meeting, big dog.
I know who's paying attention. I don't follow Marvel.
Ariel.
You thought
You
so
like
too?
it?
No, I did not. I think there was a show you had to see me.
I seen all of them. They trying to incorporate the what is it called?
Nah, it was kind of OD with all the
multiverse.
T-Night
Marvel
chilling.
starts doing the multiverse stuff.
Anytime they start doing the
multiverse, they lose me.
No, it's just
what
because
other movie that we saw?
What's funny was the twist.
No, it's just because the Marvel universe is messed up right now. Like, it's so many films that were like missed, like straight flops. So like, it's hard to correct the timeline because a lot of the movies messed up the accurate Marvel timeline. So Deadpool tried to fix it, and while also sticking to their stuff.
Yeah, these boys, they're saying, they're like the subliminals bad right now.
Deadpool tried to fix it while also sticking to its story. So it's just a lot. No, it's a lot.
Did they play that twice?
The bonds of brotherhood are forged, not just in the heat of practice, but in the quiet moments after.
Oh yeah, here we go. Fades to black, dramatic music comes in, some drone shots of the field. Absolutely.
Wednesday night under the lights, where a physical team is built from the ground up. It all starts at the line of scrimmage.
The mental is the most important thing. You know, you got to walk on that field and you got to do the baddest person on the field. There's no defensive line, there's no defense. We're the like run stopper, we get to the quarterback. Having that mentality is like being the best group on the team.
It's a mentality. It doesn't matter how big you are, how strong you are. To play defensive line here, it's a mentality.
Gotta be a little bit crazy, I'll tell you that much. Gotta be a little bit crazy, but man, you just gotta have the willingness for it.
The willingness to move the man across from you, just as your counterparts do on the other side of the ball.
And I've said it a few times, this narrator's nuts.
You gotta be a little bit crazy to play offensive line, you know. It's just you and the guy across from you. You gotta move him off the ball. Not easy. It's not something that's always in your favor, but it's something you gotta do.
It takes a lot. Every single play, you're going to be hitting someone. Doesn't matter what play it is. You know, you got a man across the line that you got to go reach. It's intense. Every single one of us just pushes each other to get better. We're a family, and, you know, we go through the same things. We go through the same struggles. So, you know, at the end of the day, we got each other's back. So I think it's an awesome bond that we've been able to form over the past few years.
Physical team, let's go.
To build a physical team, you've got to go good on good. Ones on ones.
It gets really intense, you know. We go against each other like 9 out of the 12, 13 periods that we have.
Oh man.
It's never easy, you know, going against those guys. They're great players. A lot of veteran guys across the ball. But, you know, we take that as a challenge. We go in there every day and we just go to work.
With a returning defensive line and 3 out of 5 offensive linemen back, it's iron sharpening iron day after day.
There we go.
These guys are gonna fire out. You have to hit them right here. This is where their pressure's gonna be. If you could stop them moving right here, they stop moving completely instead of just going like this.
and then trying to run your
Yes,
feet.
Nash.
Grab and press and press. It's all physics, leverage.
It's been great. Those guys are pretty good over there on the other side of the ball, and I mean,
My
seven's probably
lord,
the best
look
drill.
how big he
Iron
looks.
sharpens iron, and the sparks fly.
He looks like Brock Lesnar.
Here we go. Do what we do, man.
Take that ball.
Blast us on me. Blast us on 3. 1, 2, 3. Blast us.
Starts right there in the trenches. 91% of games are won by line play, whether defense, the line dominates O-line or the O-line pushes the defense.
Coach Raul always talks about playing with one set of eyes. You know, just seeing everything together, really communicating. Everyone's on the same track, everyone's on the same path, protecting the quarterback and creating lanes for the ball carrier. I think we're all trusting the process, and every day, you know, we're finding little stuff, just getting better, building off of last season, and really going into fall camp.
It's amazing what's potentially able to happen when you guys make practice competitive. The great ones, they love competition because they know, like, if I know that I'm really competing, I can't win every rep. If I'm winning every rep, this is too easy. Like, what's the point of even being out here? Like, great wants to be around great. Selfish wants to be around selfish. Average wants to be around average. Or you like that 100-meter race they had the other day, right? One guy was here, one guy was here. This guy's a gold medalist, this guy didn't medal. The difference for us is going to be about that much. You're chasing the same 3 I talked about the entire offseason. I think some of you guys thought we caught it. We didn't catch that 3 yet. That doesn't happen till the games. You on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Fun to watch you guys play tonight. Break it down and get out of here. Act nice on your way out.
Good job, boys. You gotta take care of your body now. Hey, one better on 3. 1, 2, 3. One better.
But football isn't just about the grind. It's about balance, rejuvenating the mind and body. That's the idea anyway.
This place
until
looks like
Carter
an
Nelson
injury
encountered
waiting
this
to
trampoline.
You
happen.
know, I was going to go do a double front flip, and I'm not going to say I was fat. I'm just going to say I put a lot of power in the trampoline.
Come on, Ford. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, this place straight up looks like an injury waiting to
Even
happen.
off the field, competition never stops, and neither does the fun. Until you find yourself facing Carter Nelson on the balance beam.
Hey, that was easy. That was West. Hey. Right. Oh, right.
Let's go. Tap and go. Ready? One more. Oh.
Knock him off. Hit the leg.
Oh, that's cute. He let the kid knock him out.
But for a veteran like MJ Sherman, there's no time to waste this August.
Yeah, blur them
His sights
plays.
are set on one goal, and every second counts.
You know, I never expected a lot of radical change in my college career. My idea was to be 3 and done, to be honest. I was blessed with many favors in life. You know, God did well with me when it came to my athletic career. I was able to go to a really prestigious high school, which is St. John's College High School up in DC, played a lot of elite teams across the nation. When I picked Georgia and everything else like that, I was expecting to just punch out those years, be the best player I can be, and just head on to NFL career, but obviously that didn't happen. So like my journey here in Nebraska has been very blessed. Now, if my high school self ever think that I would be here in Nebraska? Not at all. But am I mad at it? Not at all. So.
They're not ready for it. Keep that up.
Not at all. He ain't mad about it at all.
First one.
At Georgia, I was a big fish in a bigger pond full of bigger fish. You know what I mean? And it was a fight, scrap, battle every single day. And I loved the guys that I was with. But it was more so of a humbling experience because my goal always to make my mother proud, my sister, my brother-in-law proud, my other family, my friends. I always wanted to be proud of that. And since I wasn't achieving, in my mind, the goals that I wanted, you know, I fell into a shell. And like I had to kind of crack open that shell and get out my own way. It's like all the dark thoughts and those things like, am I really a good football player? Am I ready to step up on a plate? You know, do these guys even trust me? Do they even like me? You know what I mean? You know, am I at the wrong place? Am I at the wrong facility? But once again, you know, that within those 3 years that I stayed at Georgia, even though those dark thoughts crept up, I always had an encouragement from my family, from my mother, from God himself, to always be like, hey, you know, that's not really reality. You still have a fighting chance. And I always believed in that fighting chance until, you know, I had to unfortunately depart.
Life is good. God is good, not you. Sometimes you gotta be grateful to be in this position.
Yes, sir.
When I came here, I was more self-centered than anything. My end goal was my end goal. I was trying to get there. But the funny thing about football always teaches you that it's a team game. If you don't have that shared bond and chemistry with them and everything else like that, there's no success. And a lot of individual success comes from team success. And everybody in the locker room wants to have the same end goal I have. No one's doing all this hard stuff just for the fun of it, you know?
It's supposed to be hard.
Yes,
what did
sir.
you say yesterday?
Conditioning.
Conditioning. And what else did he say? In the fourth quarter, what?
We're gonna be the ones surviving while everybody's suffering.
Exactly. While everybody's suffering, we're
Everybody's doing this because they have an end goal in their own mind. You know, either that's winning a championship here or winning a championship here and going on to the next level. And that's something that's where I started developing and learning to say like, hey,
that rip
if
was
I want to
nice.
be who I know I can be, must be an urgency and a need for me to start buying into the process. And that is something that after the season ended, it was like a click of a switch.
Take that ball away. Let's go. Take that ball away. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's hit it.
Coach Rule, it was more so realizing that like he's one of those coaches, you like he's gonna give it to you straight, whether you like it or not. But he's giving it to you straight out of love. He's giving it to you straight because he wants you to be better. He wants you to be great. As time went by and I started to learn Coach Rule and his ways and this method to his madness, the way how he interact with players, the way he try to really bring that greatness out of you to make you actually reach to your own potential, I start to accept. Learning those words are not coming out of hate, they're coming out of love.
Damn, man. No, I'm just saying. What's next? What's next? What's next? No, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to tell my mind what's next. Guys will forget that, man.
Thank God for Coach Brown because he helped me in my dark times too. And there was a point where I want to better myself. I gotta connect more with myself spiritually. Just talking to him and like understanding how I can better myself off the field so I can be a better player on the field. You know, channeling my energy, knowing how to put it in certain places, knowing when to ask for God for grace, knowing to ask for God for favor, knowing to ask God to say, hey, just carry me right now, and knowing to ask God to say, hey, just walk with me right now. To me, in my head, it's like there's more than a coaching staff. Like for instance, for like T-Night, Coach Rob, Coach Jack, those three guys, like I always see them as guys like, they like more like big brothers. Like they're still gonna be my coach at the end of the day. There's always a thin line between that. They're always gonna be my coach at the end of the day, but more so the fact where it's gonna like, You know, I see them as my big brothers who really try to guide me to be in the best place successfully for this team and successfully in life in general. Just all the little details.
That's progress right there. Now, we just got to get that extension. And once we get that extension, it's over.
This offseason was a challenge for myself to master those little details and see how far it got me. And it got me pretty far.
I love how
I'm
well spoken
proud
he
of
is.
myself, but I'm not satisfied because I still know
And he's
there's going to
hungry.
be a wall. It's going to be sitting right in front of me. The only way to get over it is go through it. There ain't no running around that wall. The wall too tall to climb. The wall's planted in the ground to slide under. It's going to be one of those walls I'm going to have to punch through, and I'm going to come out on the other side a better man.
Yes, sir.
Sherman knows the first wall he has to punch through this camp is just days away. The first scrimmage of August.
Hey, Black D right here. Black D right here. Here we go. Hey, come here. I got something for y'all today. Today don't change because of what day it is, right? We do because we're the best at what we do, okay? We do our job at a high level, okay? We run our ass off. We take that rock and we hit. It don't change. We just take a mother to the ground. Let's do this. Clutch this on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, push. Combo. Yeah.
Nice. There we go. Look at that run. Is that the end of it?
There's no good, there's no bad, there's just corrections. There's corrections from the coaches in terms of what we need to do better. There's corrections from you guys, there's corrections from the players. So everyone has to take this mindset of corrections. I know it's so hard for some of us. Some of us, we only feel good when we play, like things go well for us. You find out who you are, and I find out who you are, what you look like when things are not going well. That's really what I want to find. That's why we try to create controversy out here. Who, when things get hard or there's not going your way, you have two choices. You back down and feel sorry for yourself, or you get pissed off and fight. Come back tonight, get your notebook out, and just methodically go through the tape, draft 1. Let's get it for next Saturday, because next Saturday is revised draft number 2. No, 8:31 is a long ways off. Let's just worry about today.
One bet on me, one bet on 3. 1, 2, 3.
One bet.
1, 2, 3.
Well, that was really good.
I hear the crystal raindrops
Oh.
fall in the beauty of it all when the sun comes shining through. And when those rainbows in my mind, when I think of you sometimes, I want to spend some time with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Oh, it's-
Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I.
Oh man. Just, I mean, what else would you expect from this program? I mean, really, just the production levels, the class, I mean, it's world-class filming, it's world-class everything. You know, I mean, not a lot of people do it better when it comes to how they portray their team. You know, because they're in control. They're in control of the messaging. They know what they're putting out there. They're well aware. So, I mean, just fantastic, really. With that, I did want to get into a few things here just about my thoughts, the upcoming season. I'm going to do a record prediction. And we're going to get into a few other things. Let me get this pulled up here. Okay. So let's pull up the record here. Maybe I can add it right in on this. Let's see. All right. Well, what the heck? Where did I put it? I know I had it. Okay, well, let's see if I can get it this time. How? It's almost unbelievable. I don't get it. All right, well. Look at that. So, looking at the schedule here, we have UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa, and Illinois all at home to start the season. I mean, I don't know how many times, how many videos you guys need to watch on YouTube going over people's schedule predictions. I'm sure you've seen a million of them by now. I'm sure you don't really care about mine, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. UTEP, obviously a win. In an ideal world, Dylan's out mid-third quarter. Danny or Heinrich or anyone else, really, that you want to throw in there, throw them in. Give them a quarter and a half. Get as much experience to these guys as you can. and then redshirt him. If you are going to play Danny, that is. Which I would do. I would play Dylan until you're up by 4 scores, and I would throw Danny in. Let him play the rest of the game. In my opinion, we win that game pretty easily. Obviously, I'm looking somewhere in like the 42 to 14. Maybe. Like one of those being like garbage points, or 17 maybe with like a touchdown and a field goal coming against the third string defense. That's probably like best case scenario, I don't know, but somewhere in there. So right off the bat, 1-0. Colorado comes to town. I live in Denver. I live behind enemy lines in Denver. There's not a lot of Buff excitement around the area. People do not care. People care about the Broncos. People care about the Nuggets. People care about the Avalanche. People even care about the Rockies. No one cares about CU. You see shirts sometimes, and 90% of the time it's a Dion shirt, not a CU shirt. So CU comes to town. I was at the game last year. It was horrible. They were ridiculous. The fans were awful. I had a lot of fun, though. My prediction, we take that game home, but somewhere in the range of oh man, like hopefully our defense figures it out if we're not turning the ball over, if we're playing sound football like we expect them to do. Shoot, man. 31-24. Somewhere in there. I have us going 2-0. I don't think Shador and the gang haven't experienced anything like nothing like a night game in Lincoln. People are going to be riled up. People will have been tailgating all day before that. It's going to be very, very loud. I will be in town hanging out with a few other Husker YouTubers. But then Northern Iowa comes to town, September 14th. Pretty big win. I think backups see a lot of action in this game again, obviously. I don't even know. Somewhere in the 40s to like 10. We're going to demolish them. Next week, September 21st, Brett Bielema and the Fighting Illini come to town. Bielema's on the hot seat. They expected him to do big things. They wanted the same turnaround that he had at Wisconsin. Things have not been going very good over in Champaign. That being said, you can never really underestimate Illinois as a Nebraska fan. So I'm going to go somewhere in the 28-14 range again. Somewhere in there. At home. I mean, I don't think they have a chance. So 4-0. About to head on to our very first road stop of the year in Purdue against the Boilermakers. This I have as one of my trap games. I don't know. I think it's very possible that we lose to Purdue. In fact, I might even say this is the first game we drop. 21-17, something like that. I mean, I hope not, but it's very possible. So let's put him at 4-1. Rutgers comes to town. We take care of business after dropping one on the road. We beat Rutgers like their offense is pretty good, so they might hang in there a little bit more, like 24-31. Next, we're on the road at Indiana. Another trap game, I think. The only problem is I don't think they have a defense. So as long as we have a serviceable quarterback and our offensive line gives them adequate time to make their reads, go through their progressions, and get the ball out of the pocket, then I think we'll just be just fine. I don't think Indiana's defense is going to be anything to be scared of. Huskers get their first road win. We'll go 21-13. 24-13. Changed my mind. This is the one that no one is going to pick us to win. Let's be honest. Right now, we're 6-1. Heading into Ohio State, we're probably in the top 25. Things are looking good. This is where the party's going to take a gut punch. I think it's going to be a pretty big one. We're going to lose pretty bad on the road. I mean, they just routed us last year. I'm going to go 45-28. And that sucks to say, but they are so good. Maybe the best Ohio State team in 2 decades. I mean, let's be real. They are stacked. So now we're 6-2, back at home against UCLA. The Bruins don't even pose a threat. Their coach was a mess at Big Ten Media Days. Who knows what's going on over there? They're also not used to playing defenses. So UCLA, they're going to get humbled in Memorial Stadium. Huskers have a big offensive bounce back after getting whooped by Ohio State. Nebraska, 42, UCLA, 24. Seven and 2. Going on the road to USC. If you follow any of my social media accounts, you will know I am not big on the Trojans. Miller Moss did just get named the starting QB today. I mean, he threw 6 touchdowns in their bowl game last year, so you might have to watch out for that. I really just don't think. I mean, it is in California. I think that benefits the Huskers, not the Trojans, honestly. Nebraska will be escaping the cold mid-November, heading to sunny California. I think by then we have an established run game. Dylan Raiola has been rolling in the Big Ten, looking at a freshman All-American, hopefully. If that is the case, the Huskers sneak out of the Coliseum 28-24. Yeah, we're going to stick with that. I second guessed myself for a second, but so 8-2. At home versus Wisconsin. I hate to say it. They've had our number every year. We should have beaten them last year. At home. Oh, man. This is different from what I said on my Twitter. I'm going to give the win to Nebraska. I'm drinking the Roulade, baby. I'm drinking the Roulade. That's going to be a close one, too. I'm really not sure Wisconsin's offense has really improved that much. I know they're hoping they have. I'll have to do some deep dives, but man. (28-21). Nebraska wins at home against Wisconsin and moves to 9-2. Another trap game to end the year. I talked a lot of trash about Iowa today on Twitter. However, while I was working, I watched the BTN preview. And from what I saw, they're real nervous about the quarterback position. The offensive line seems to have improved, but you can't just run the ball every single play. You're not Michigan against Penn State. You cannot run the ball over and over and over again. Night game in Iowa City. I mean, I don't think their offense can score. They might get lucky and get a special teams field goal or a special teams touchdown or a defensive touchdown. But it's not going to be enough. Any competent offense is going to be able to score 3 touchdowns against your defense. Notice how I said competent. The schedule that they play is very weak. It's not very competent competition. Nebraska will have just gone through the ringer, playing Ohio State, UCLA, USC, and Wisconsin, the hardest teams on their schedule. They will be ready to play. They go into Iowa City, and they become 10-2. For the first time in 15 years, we go to, well, maybe not go to, but we're in discussion for the college football playoff at 10-2. At the very least, a very nice bowl game. I have us going into Iowa City and winning 24-10. Chalk them up. Chalk them up. All right, well, that is really what I wanted to get into for today. We are going to hop into some team previews coming up, where I'll deep dive into some of the previous games and we'll watch some film, look at the matchups and see what favors us, maybe what favors the opponent. And yeah, till then, please hit the like and subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all things Husker athletics. We will not just be covering football here. We will be going into basketball season and covering volleyball as well. So your one-stop shop for everything Husker athletics. Hit me up on the Twitter, X, Instagram, @ScurAlert. If you have any questions or you want us to cover any topics, feel free to write us, scuralert@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for whoever did tune in and catch a little bit. This was mostly a test for me to get comfortable with YouTube. I've streamed on Twitch and some other things, other platforms prior to this, so I do have some experience, but just wanted to get familiar with the software, everything like that. But expect more content. I will be at the Colorado game and the Iowa game and possibly the USC game. Hit me up. Thanks for watching. Good night.